In the high-stakes world of the NFL, a massive signing bonus is often viewed as the final destination for financial security. But for many stars, that windfall is just the beginning of a dangerous game where the opponents aren't on the other side of the line of scrimmage, but in the boardroom and the bank. While we marvel at the athletic prowess that secures these multi-million-dollar contracts, we rarely see the rapid evaporation of those fortunes when the locker room doors close for the last time. From Hall of Famers deceived by predatory inner circles to elite quarterbacks ensnared by catastrophic business gambles, the reality of NFL wealth is often as fleeting as a missed field goal. It is a sobering look at how even the most celebrated gridiron icons can be humbled by the unforgiving laws of finance, proving that the skills needed to win a championship are rarely the same ones required to preserve a legacy. Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor was not just an NFL player, he was a revolution, a linebacker whose sheer dominance forced the entire league to change its offensive schemes. During his illustrious career with the New York Giants, LT was the highest-paid defensive player of his era, earning an estimated $50 million throughout his career. However, his financial story is a harrowing tale of self-destruction and exploitation. At the height of his addiction, Taylor reportedly spent thousands of dollars a day on drugs and escort services, hemorrhaging his massive earnings in a desperate, relentless cycle. His financial collapse was further accelerated by a series of poorly conceived business ventures, including a company called All Pro Products that went public but was eventually manipulated by penny stock traders, leaving him with significant losses. Persistent legal troubles, including a conviction for tax evasion in 2000 that led to house arrest and probation, only deepened the hole. By the time the dust settled on his playing days, his fortune was largely a memory. Taylor's decline illustrates a tragic trajectory where immense, generation-defining talent was overwhelmed by severe personal dependency and the absence of a financial structure to protect him from the chaotic reality of his own making. Mark Brunell. Mark Brunell was a model of quarterback consistency and professional longevity, banking approximately $50 million across his time with the Green Bay Packers, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Washington Redskins. Yet, despite his reputation as a cerebral and reliable signal caller, his post-football life was defined by a series of business disasters that would have crippled a person with a fraction of his net worth. His downfall was primarily triggered by a series of lawsuits stemming from 5 distinct, failed business partnerships, including a real estate development firm called Champion LLC and an ill-fated investment in 12 Whataburger franchises. The scale of his losses was breathtaking. When he filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2010, he listed liabilities of $24.7 million against assets of only $5.5 million. The financial pressure was so extreme that he had to submit a court-ordered reorganization plan just to keep his own championship rings and football memorabilia from being liquidated to pay off his mounting debts. Forced to transition from a multi-millionaire athlete to a medical sales representative to make ends meet, Brunell's story serves as a stark reminder that professional success is not a guarantee of business acumen. His journey highlights the immense risk athletes take when they attempt to transition from the simplicity of the huddle to the extreme complexity of venture capital and commercial franchising without proper guidance. Dermontti Dawson. Dermontti Dawson was a fixture on the Pittsburgh Steelers' offensive line for 13 years, earning 7 Pro Bowl nods and eventually receiving a gold jacket as a Hall of Famer. As the highest-paid offensive lineman of his time, he was a pillar of consistency, but his post-retirement finances mirrored the volatility of the real estate market he so aggressively entered. In 2010, Dawson filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, reporting a staggering $69.6 million in liabilities against a mere $1.4 million in assets. His ruin was almost entirely linked to multiple failed real estate developments in Kentucky that collapsed during the 2008 housing market crash. His bankruptcy filings read like a tragedy of misplaced confidence. He held non-controlling minority interests in corporations that defaulted on massive loans, leaving him personally liable for millions in judgments. From high-end Rolexes to expensive gym equipment, the physical remnants of his wealth were auctioned off to pay down debts that had spiraled completely out of control. It is a classic case of an athlete swinging for the fences in a sector he didn't fully understand, ultimately losing a fortune that should have secured his family for generations. Michael Vick. Few NFL stars have seen a fall as public and as profound as Michael Vick. Before his 2007 conviction and subsequent incarceration for his role in a dogfighting ring, Vick was the most electric player in the league, a transformative quarterback who commanded record-setting contracts. However, his financial downfall was not just about lost salary. It was about the systematic collapse of his business empire. When he filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2008, while serving time, his schedules revealed assets valued at $16 million against liabilities totaling $20 million, exacerbated by his inability to work and his mounting legal fees. By the time the process concluded, Vick was forced to sell his suburban Atlanta mansion and liquidate virtually every major asset he had accumulated to pay back creditors. In a rare and admirable move, Vick chose Chapter 11 over Chapter 7 specifically because he wanted to repay those he owed, living on a strict $300,000 yearly budget for several years, while his NFL earnings went directly toward his debts. His case is a prime example of financial overextension, where an athlete tries to mirror the successes of billionaire businessmen without the underlying experience or operational control, serving as a brutal lesson on how legal liabilities can vaporize even the most massive, market-leading net worths. Antoine Winfield. Antoine Winfield was one of the most respected defensive backs in the country, a first-round draft pick out of Ohio State, whose reputation was built on grit and reliability. Yet, even a player known for his discipline on the field was not immune to the trust trap. Winfield suffered a devastating blow when he discovered that his designated financial advisor had been systematically pilfering his funds. Under the guise of managing his investments, the advisor moved millions from Winfield's accounts into highly speculative, high-risk ventures that were largely hidden from the player. When the scheme was finally uncovered, it was revealed that millions from his signing bonuses and salary had been siphoned off, leaving a massive hole in his financial future. Winfield's case is part of a larger systemic problem, where athletes often prioritize long-term personal relationships over objective, third-party vetting when choosing who to trust with their wealth. It is a cautionary tale about the necessity of independent financial verification. Even the most disciplined players on the field can be caught off guard when they fail to apply the same level of scrutiny to their business team as they do to their game day preparation. The stadium lights eventually fade, and for these legends, the challenge of maintaining their hard-earned wealth proved far more difficult than any defense they faced on Sunday. These stories aren't just about losing money, they are about the fragility of a life built on the assumption that the checks will never stop coming. The transition into the real world is a ruthless game of its own, one where reputation, trust, and reckless ambition can become the ultimate liabilities. Which of these financial disasters do you find the most alarming? Tell us in the comments. Hit that like button if you appreciate these deep dives, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next look into the hidden and often tragic side of professional sports.